Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Bat. I'm back again for part two of my comic book hunt. Uh, when I went to my local comic shops in search of key or highly uh, um, graded um, newsstands or early direct edition books. I know for some people it's not their cup of tea, but this is where I'm right now getting my kicks out of. And I think this is a dark horse that, right now is a burgeoning thing with the newsstands. Just like with anything else in comic book collecting, it starts out with a lot of naysaying and uh, people adamant about what it ain't worth doing or whatever. I mean, that's fine, whatever floats your boat. But I've always been one to go against the grain, and it seems it always works out pretty good for me. But before I even start that, I found something. I'm not an omnibus person. I normally don't get omnibuses. Are hard graphic novels. A lot of times, my family members give them to me or give me a hard copy of a comic book reprint or whatever. But when I saw that this was available to get, I couldn't pass it up. And this is, to me, one of the comic lines that basically shaped my collecting in my later years. Uh, I was really enraptured by these set of books when they were in comic book form. And when I saw that it was an omnibus, I definitely had to get it. And these are two books, Volume 1 and Volume 2 of the Fantastic Four by John Byrne. This is Volume 1, and this is Volume 2. And the funny thing about it, I will never open them. I'm gonna keep them just like they are. I mean, I got all the comic books from this era, and a lot of extras were put into this. You got a couple Alpha Flights um, in there in this one, and then the other one, Volume Two. I mean, Volume One. I'm sorry. You had a lot of the Marvel John Byrne's Marvel team ups that were very popular back in the day. And giving kudos to this man, his run on the Fantastic Four is my favorite run. Uh, he introduced a lot of things. He tackled a lot of things with Galactus, with appearances of Nova. Uh, this issue in particular, where the Avengers, Fantastic Four, all of them fought Galactus. And it ended up that Ghost Rider was the one who put the coup de grace on him that actually basically would have killed him if not for Reed Richards resuscitating him, which caused a major problem amongst the other alien races, which led into the trial of Reed Richards, which was a great, great read. Um, like I said, I could not pass this up, period. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not an omnibus person, but I, these are treasures, and I'm so glad that I was able to order them. Now, let us get on with the comics. This is the final issue of Fantastic Four, issue number 611. And this is a later newsstand that really is hard to find. So this book has a lot going for it, that it's the last issue and that it's a newsstand issue, which is at this point in time very, very hard to find. Cable number 38, Into the Microverse. Generation X, the collector's preview. I saw that I had to open the comic book. It was in a bag and board, and I had to open it to actually see the back of it to see that it was a newsstand. Same with this book, Generation X, 1996. Superman Action Comics. Now, Superman, I found quite a bit of Superman newsstands and a few Batman newsstands also. But the meat of them were Superman. That's Superman 698, 697 with Bizarro, The Adventures of Superman, 512 with the Parasite and an ugly looking Superman. Adventures of Superman, issue number 504, When Superman Returns. These are good to collect because it seems like the Return of Superman, especially any of them with him in a black suit, are slightly moving up in value. Crimson Plague by George Perez, issue number 2. X-Men 2099, Ron Lim cover. Superman in Action Comics, issue number 663. The Legend of the Shadow Clan. This is a book by Aspen Comics. Superman the Man of Steel. That's the first appearance of the black costume when Superman is resuscitated. But this one is the one where they is mostly wanted because of the cover. Superman number 81. That's a great Dan Jurgens cover and Brett Breeding cover. I really like that cover. Justice League number 3. Now this one falls in 1987. So the transition period from direct edition to newsstand, or I'm sorry, from newsstand to direct edition, was I would call the 1984, 85, and 86. 85 is the center of the switch, where basically didn't make a difference if you bought newsstand or direct edition because they basically came out at the same level of printing. But when you got in 86, it slightly became more direct. 87, which this book came from, even more were direct issues and less newsstand. Anything after really between 84 and 87, 84 and below, you want direct. 87, well, 85 and above, you want newsstand. Easy way to figure it out. I still see some people showing newsstands from 1980, 81, 82, and they're like, oh, it's a newsstand. Okay, you want it in direct. Newsstand was the most popular thing going before 1985. Okay, I'm not going into that. If people haven't figured it out by now, I guess they never will. The Invincible Iron Man, issue number 10, newsstand. Issue number 9. And I'm very, very picky when it comes to getting these books. I like them as immaculate as possible. I like them to be able, if they're graded, they'll go either 9.6 or 9.4, 9.8. There's a couple of them that I did get, and I thought they were in better shape, but once I pulled them out of the plastic sleeves that they were in, they were damaged pretty good. And for those, I don't put them in Mylar. I put them in regular plain poly bags. This is Superman Man of Steel number 23, number 22, X-Men the Apocalypse, the 12. That storyline had a little weight to it. It's kind of sought out. And this newsstand issue. I guess I don't know if that's Wolverine undercover, because they were trying to figure out who that was that they were fighting, and it ended up eventually being Wolverine. Apocalypse had took him and I guess brainwashed him or whatever. Action Comics 687, dealing with the reign of Superman. Scion. These cross-gen books, I got issue number 3, issue number 4, and issue number 7. I run across them pretty frequently, so I figured I'd pick them up. CGE, I don't know what company this is. This is called The First, issue number 30. Shrug Square, or Shrug 2, from Aspen Comics. Astonishing X-Men number 4. Superman number 88. Another book with Bizarro again. I guess that's the first or the second part of it. NOMAD number 3, with NOMAD fighting the ex-Captain America, John Walker. NOMAD number 2. Something David and Goliath from Image Comics, issue number 1. Justice League number 5. This is another book from 1987. This is where Batman knocks out Guy Gardner with one punch. Superman and Man of Steel number 21. Funeral for a Friend, issue number 7. Part 7. Funeral for a Friend, part 4 from Superman. It's a pretty good cover. I really like that cover. Starman number 32. Violent Messiahs, Lamenting Pain, part 3 of 4 from Image Comics. Warlock Chronicles, issue number 1, with a hollow foil cover. Robin 3, Cry of the Huntress, issue number 1. Spectacular Spider-Man number 206, with Tombstone. Peter Parker Spider-Man number 84 versus Juggernaut. The Punisher Annual number 1. Brigade. I love finding early Image newsstands. They are hard as heck to find. Brigade, try to get that glare off. Okay. Issue number 2. Found the Spawn number 5 by Todd McFarlane. X Factor number 86. X Factor number 85. The Adventures of Alpha Centurion, Superman, issue number 518. Ghost Rider versus Cable, number 1. Sam Keith cover. Web of Spider-Man, annual number 9. All those annuals during that year, 1993, they were introducing a whole bunch of new characters that I don't think any of them ever caught on. Out of the whole bunch of annuals that came out that year that was introducing all these new characters, I don't think any of them stuck around. Uncanny X-Men number 314. Iceman, looks like Ice Woman. It just doesn't look right. Wolverine number 38, with Wolverine versus Albert, the robot version of him. And I run across these all the time, if not in Newsstand, I see it in direct edition, but I always see them in the dollar bins. Spider-Man number 24, with the Doppelganger, first appearance of the Doppelganger Spider-Man, which was hot at one time. It still is worth something, but it's not worth anything like it was. And that's basically it for part 2 as far as the newsstands that I picked up that I want to show. Let me see. It was something else I wanted to show, and I can't find it. Hold on 1 second. These, I think. These are it. These are the books. I think. Yeah, because these are a mixture of newsstands or whatever, just books that I got. Yeah, for some reason, it caught my attention. Did I show these or not? I can't. No, I didn't. Okay. Ninja Bots from Amazing Comics, issue number 1. Celestine from Image Comics, issue number 1. Allegra, issue number 1. There were just some cool female covers that caught my eye. This book came out when I had left collecting comic books. At the time, I was so fed up with comic books in the 90s, dealing, especially to mess with the Spider clone. It just turned me off for almost 10 years. I just didn't pick up comics. And during that time, there were some good books that came out, and this one kind of intrigued me. I just like the cover for Tachyon, issue number 1. Underworld, issue number 1, Unleashed. It's a wild looking cover. I had this, but I just like this Michael Turner cover for Justice League of America number 3. I had this, but not in as good a shape as these two books are. Return of the New Gods, issue number 12. Had 2 copies of that I picked up. Mark Silvestri is one of the most underrated artists that's out there. He's making a name again for himself with the new Batman Joker book that's out. Dilly Duo. I can't remember if that's correct, but yeah, he did that, and that's a great looking cover. Side Blade from Cyberforce Origins, issue number 1. Uncanny X-Men through 5, first appearance of the Flanks. I don't know how to pronounce it. I hope I ain't saying it the wrong way. Power of Shazam, number 4. A beautiful Jerry Ordway cover of Mary Marvel. All-Star Squadron, number 23, first appearance of Amazing Man. A Michael Turner cover for Justice League of America, 0, issue 0. Get it out some way. Wolverine, number 133. And the reason I got that Warbird, that's when Captain Marvel was called Warbird, and she's doing the fastball special with Wolverine. And these I run into quite a bit in dollar bins, and this book actually has some value to it. Batman, issue number 500. The Wait, issue number 1. Lady Death, number 4. Pick that one up. Beautiful book. Doesn't have a tick on it. Superman and Madman, issue number 1. Another copy of Batman Superman, issue number 77, with the first meeting of Damian and Supergirl. This one here, this book here, I flipped past it. And as soon as I flipped past it, I said, wait a minute. Back it up. Cause I just passed a very valuable book in the dollar bin. And the funny part about it, it's been numerous people that have been through this box. I saw them doing it, and nobody picked this book up. And surprisingly, the book did not get damaged. I was like, when I pulled it out, I had to do a double take. I kept looking at it, seeing if it was a reprint or a second print or whatever print. And no, this is actually the first print. This is Batman Superman, annual number 4, first appearance of Batman Beyond. I was like livid. I was just shaking. I already have it, but I mean, just to see that so many people have passed this book up and they just did not pay attention to it. I mean, I just amazed by it. It just really, really amazed me that that book was still there. This was like 2 weeks later after I knew people had. Cause I've been down in that dollar bin off and on for 2 or 3 weeks, just looking around and scouting around, and that book was down there. But wow, I'm so happy to get it. Variant for Shadow Man number 1. Found 2 DC universes, and I was like, whoa! But they're the same book, but I didn't have it. Robin number 3, issue number 3, and that's all that I'm going to show. I could show a lot more. I got stacks and stacks of stuff that I got to show. Once again, thanks for accepting me back into your homes. Hope that what I show is interesting, and you enjoy yourself. That's the Bat. It's time for me to sign off. See you in the next video.